Hi everyone, welcome to another productivity talk from the Asian Productivity Organization, APO Tokyo, Japan. I am Tanveer of APO Agriculture Unit. Today we will discuss on an important and interesting subject, biodigesters and green productivity in connection with plug-and-play biodigester systems that convert manure and other biowaste into biogas to provide rural households with clean cooking fuel results in decreased use of traditional fuel such as wood and carbon emissions and indoor pollutions. We will also hear how the remaining bioslurry is used as organic fertilizer for farming and reduces the quantity of water required for agriculture. The approach addresses the key green productivity themes of resource recycling, green energy, green factories, and agro-innovation. Today, our guest speaker is Mr. Shubhashish Bhomik, Country Director of ATEC, Australia International Limited, Bangladesh. Hello, Mr. Shubhashish. Thank you for joining with us. How are you?
Yeah. Hello, Tanvir bhai. Thanks for inviting me. I'm fine. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Shubhashish. Before move to the discussion, I like to request audience to leave your questions in the chat box, and we will try to answer them during the Q&A session. Please don't forget to add your name and country while you ask the question. Before starting the presentation, let's watch a short video clip on biodigester technology, which will give you some idea about this method.
Bangladesh is an agricultural country, and agriculture is very important to us. And in Bangladesh, we have almost 4 million farmers who have 2 or more cattle. And one of the biggest and common problem of all these farmers are managing those manures. We can convert that problem into opportunity through our ATEC Shobut Shakti Biodigester systems. These big green containers, we call it Biodigesters. What you have to do, you have to pour your cattle manure into it, and methogenic bacteria reacts on it, and it will convert it to gas and fertilizer. And this manure becomes very valuable. This family, they are using biogas. Biogas is very much renewable energy.
কোনো পরিশ্রম তেমন না, পরিশ্রম কম, কিন্তু ওই লার্কির ব্যবস্থাটায় অনেক পরিশ্রম, অনেক কাটাকাটনি হয়ে যায়।
Almost 62% of our agricultural land has been degraded just because of using excessive chemical fertilizer. And through our system, you are not only getting gas, you can get bioslurry. You can use this bioslurry as an organic fertilizer, and you can regain your land fertility. Earlier to ATEC, I used to work for traditional fuel and gas companies. Now I'm very much in renewable energy company and renewable business. And I'm very much proud to contribute with our biodigester systems to make a sustainable, healthier and better living conditions for the farmers of Bangladesh.
Thank you so much. Now I'd like to request Mr. Shubhashish to share your insights on biodigesters mechanisms, environmental and social advantages, and the health benefits as part of green productivity. Mr. Shubhashish, the screen is yours.
Thank you, Tanvir bhai, again. And hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, in respect of different time zone, different places you were watching us and hearing us. And thanks, Tanvir bhai, for a brief introduction. I think most of the audience already understood that in which topic we are basically discussing, and you have already got some idea about our technology as well. So here, our today's topic is basically biodigesters and green productivity. And first of all, I told you that I'm extremely honored, privileged, and delighted to be here. And I will try my best to share some of the basic knowledge of biodigesters and green productivity. So let me ask you a question. And if I ask to tell you about the green productivity, what comes in your mind at the initial stage? So I can share some of my thoughts. Instantly, that comes in my mind, this picture. You can see this picture. That's a lovely lady holding some green vegetables, and which or basically she cultivates in her lands, and there's green everywhere. So when we are talking about the green productivity, so what we basically call about green productivity. So basically, green productivity is a strategy for enhancing your business productivity and environmental performance at the same time for overall socioeconomic development. So it's a basically technology that produce environmentally compatible goods and services. So if you check this picture very carefully, you can see that behind her there is a system, there is a technology that basically enhancing the total process. So we will talk about this technology as well this today. So before the presentation, I like to introduce myself. And already Tanvir Bhai told you that I'm Shubhashish Bhomik. I'm currently working as a country director of ATEC Australia International Limited. It's basically an Australian company. And earlier to ATEC, I worked for oil and gas companies in almost 14 years. And professionally, I'm a mechanical engineer. And after that, I took some business graduation and post-graduation and some of the professional qualification as well. So if you want to know about more about green productivity of this kind of technology, so my LinkedIn ID is here. You can connect me anytime you want. So let's jump into our today's main topic. And I want to tell you one very interesting thing. The interesting thing is that do you know that we are trying to solve one major problem from since 4.54 billion years? Strange, huh? It's an interesting facts and stat that we are trying to solve one major problem, but yet not we solve that problem properly. What's that problem? Do you know what is that problem? The problem is that how to light a fire for cooking. Yes, I'm repeating the question again. How to light a fire. If you check the picture that from the earlier stage, we are trying to solve this problem, but we don't have proper technology yet. So what are the technology we have so far? Let me tell you some of the technologies that we have so far for basically we use to light a fire for cooking. So there are some primary sources of fuel for cooking. Here you can see we have unprocessed solid biomass, we have processed solid biomass, we have liquid gas, and we have some others. So if I'm talking about the unprocessed solid biomass, you can check that there are crop residuals, dung sticks, wood. If you can check that processed solid biomass, there are charcoal, there are some pellets, there are some other liquid as well. So it will be very interesting if you just share me which are the major primary fuel sources you are using for cooking in your countries. So if you want to write down in the chat box, that will be very interesting because I'm going to tell you about this primary fuel. And if I can, for your convenience, I can subcategorize these things. What could be the fuel type for the cooking? So far, we have invented is the biogas, charcoal, crop residues, electricity, kerosene, methane, solar, and briquettes, coal, dung, ethanol, LPG, pellets, woods. These are some potential sources of basically primary fuel. So just write down which are some major, I think, major fuel sources in your country. Majority of people are using. So I can, as a Bangladeshi, I can give some context of my country. And in Bangladesh, we got the liberation almost 51 years back. And so far, we have almost two primary sources. I think I can tell you that currently in the most urban places, we are using LPG and natural gas. But last 51 years, do you know, only I can tell you natural gas, almost 16 to 17% people are currently using in Bangladesh natural gas, and rest almost 16 to 20% people are using LPG. But still, 70 to 73% people are in Bangladeshi are still using the conventional fuels for cooking. And this is not the problem of the Bangladesh. This is the global problem. As I told you, almost 2.6 billion people have the same lack of access of clean cooking. So I have used a very interesting term called clean cooking. So what is that? So what do we basically mean? So we have all the sources earlier I have shared you. So whether all these are clean cooking? So let me tell you one statistics again. So according to WHO, there are different wide range of fuels and cook stoves, but they are telling they have some ISO standards and they have categorized those fuel type and cook stoves according to their emission. So, and based on those emission, they have basically categorized in that those categories which basically falls under their tier 4 or 5 standards that are basically clean cooking, that don't produce enough harmful indoor air pollution. That's very important because most of the conventional clean cooking solutions, conventional cooking solutions produces harmful smokes. And due to that, I want to share another statistics in Bangladesh. For that, our carbon dioxide emission per capita is right now 0.66 tons, and it's growing. It's growing at a rate of 5.48%. And every year, globally, 3.35 million people basically dies due to this due to smoke. And in Bangladesh, I can tell you the statistics that more than 100k people, and preferably mostly basically women and children, and due to this indoor air pollution. It's a huge number. So what are the solutions? I can tell you the clean cooking could be the solution. And according to WHO, there are some clean cooking solutions. What are the clean cooking solutions? There's you can say induction stove, biogas, ethanol stoves, LPG, and specialized biomass stoves, as well as also some rice cookers. So these are some alternative solutions you have for the clean cooking. So today, basically, I will talk about one technology called biogas. And biogas basically produced from biodigesters. So as I already told you, I work for ATEC. ATEC, we are basically an Austrian company, and we want to be a global leader in supporting of almost 4 billion people globally. And currently, we are right now working in Melbourne, and we have operation in Bangladesh as well as Cambodia as well. So currently, we have two products, eCook and Biodigesters. I told you today. I'm going to explain in details about Biodigesters. So when we are talking about Biodigesters, what is that? So Biodigesters basically you can use as a what can I say, waste management system as well. You just put your waste, manure, kitchen waste, and any biodegradable product in our systems, and it will create biogas and fertilizer. So, and it is one of the most sustainable solutions so far we have. And the interesting thing is that both the products output are free. That's the most important things, that other than other clean cooking solutions, these are the things you are getting absolutely free, and it can be the input is also controllable. You can put from your waste as well. So, and what are the impacts? Let me share some interesting facts that what are the impacts that we are getting. So for the biodigesters, you can save your money for the primary fuel. You can save some money from the fertilizer as well. If you have basically land, you can use that biofertilizer, and you can save a huge time. As I mentioned earlier, that if you use the conventional fuel like wood and other things, to collect those woods and other things, it will basically take your most of the time. But through our system, it basically save 1.5 days in a month, and throughout the year, it can save a significant number, 1095 hours in a year of women. So it's a huge time. You can basically utilize this time in other to caring of your children and do some other activities. And one of the major things, it reduces 80% risk of health hazard. And I already told you, globally, almost 3.5 million people are affected annually just because of indoor air pollution. And through this technology, you can basically save your life from respiratory diseases. Most of the for the indoor air pollution, respiratory diseases, something like bronchitis and other diseases may occur. And at the end, I told you about the green productivity, that it should be something environmental impact as well. So it saves our environment, it saves trees, and each and every system of biodigesters basically abate 112 tons per year. Throughout his life time, 25 years. If I break down to year, almost 4 to 4.5 ton per year. And one of the major problem to scale this kind of technology is the financial and affordability of this product. So the thing is that most of the people of globally can't afford all the solutions, clean cooking solutions, just because of it sometimes is costly. So we thought that how we can make it more affordable and scalable to all over the world. That's why we have introduced pay as you go technology in our Biodigester systems. So whatever your savings from our Biodigester systems, you can give us. We have basically break it down into small installments. You can give us in a monthly basis, and you can run your system, and you can get the biogas and biofertilizers. And also we know that we give the products in a package. Globally we are operating in Cambodia and Bangladesh, and these are the things we give normally as Biodigester tank technology, with the single or double stoves. In Cambodia we are giving also rice cookers. There comes with a pay-go box that basically enable you to give us the monthly payment through mobile money transfer. So in Bangladesh we are using Bikash, so that customers who are taking the system to us monthly, they can pay us through Bikash. So these are the package we are giving. Now come to the technical part, that how basically it works and how an anaerobic biodigestor works. Let me go to the details. And before going to the product details, just check this cattle pig. If you check cleanly that the cattle basically have eating those grasses. These are the food intakes, and these food intakes go to the digestion system. So in the digestion systems, it basically consume those food intake, and output they are getting methane and fertilizer. So Biodigester basic mechanism absolutely works in the same way. It's a mechanical stomach. So if just consider our Biodigester as a mechanical stomach, it's fed with organic material, which is broken down by bacteria in an oxygen-free anaerobic environment to produce biogas. And the bioslurry is the outcome. So I will explain it here as well. So I told you the gas produced by the digestion of organic matter, including manure. It can be any biodegradable feedstock as well. It's not including that you have always feed the system with the manure. It could be any biodegradable food stocks under anaerobic and basically no air conditions. And the biogas is basically comprised of methane and carbon dioxide. So methane percentage is basically depends on 55 to 70%, and rest of the things are carbon dioxide. A very small percent of hydrogen sulfide as well. And if I compare to the natural gas, so if the Biodigester contains of 55 to 70% methane, natural gas contains approximately 95% methane, and LPG contains no methane. It's basically propane and butane, mixing of propane and butane. So you can compare it with the existing fuel. But the thing is that those are resource dependent, and these are completely basically from waste management point of view. And I told you that what basically makes that biogas. Biogas makes make from the biodegradable things, as I already mentioned you, and how the anaerobic bacteria works. So what are the applications of biogas? If you check that biogas can be utilized, I already mentioned you that you can cook through stoves, but it has multiple uses as well. So other than the biofertilizer that you can use in your land, you can use that gas to basically cook. Also, you can use to as a generator, as a primary fuel for generator to produce electricity as well. Also, there are some thermal uses to boil water, and also some greaser. And you can, and I have shown you that we have some Biodigester rice cooker as well. You can run that rice cooker directly through biogas. So these are some different application of biogas. And now I'm telling you what are the different types of biodigesters are available all over the world. So the most conventional is the brick and mortar. If you check, that is a fixed dome model, is the most common everywhere. But there are some pros and cons with each and every variety of the biodigester systems. In the brick and mortar, it requires a little bit more space, and it normally during rainy season you can't construct it, but you can check there are different chambers. Here there is a mixing pit, there is an inlet pipe, there is a biogas digester pit. Also, you have a slurry pit, and there is the outflow. So earlier, this is the oldest technology from from after the biodigestor invented, and it has been so far used. But as I told you, it has some drawbacks. Each and every system has some drawbacks, but is the most earlier technology, and some it requires some more care as well. So if you check, I'm talking about the next system, that is the plug flow plastic bag. That has also it requires a little bit more land, but it's very convenient. You can put it anywhere, anytime, and it's very portable as well. That's the advantage of this system as well. And then you can think about another system like floating drum. Our technology is almost similar to like that, but here floating drum, you can check this LLDP container where you can use the system instead of those brick and mortar where the masons have to make that systems. They normally take 15 to 18 days or 2 to 3 weeks based on the season. But here, this floating drum is that the plug and play system that you just install it immediately. And also there are some industrial scalability product. So mostly biodigesters are used for, I think, personal use purpose for cooking, but it can be used in industrial scale purpose as well for producing electricity or some other application that I've already told to you. And how do our system basically work? So what do Attic have? We basically have a patented design. We have merged all these different things in one system. If you check in the conventional system, I showed you that there is an inlet pipe, there is a digesters, there is an outlet pipe, and there is an overflow. Basically, we have just merged all these things in one place, and so that it can take very minimalistic space. So if you check in our system, inlet, overflow, digester, outlet is a compact system. So that makes our system a little bit different. And also that is the most advanced technology so far we have. And if I cross-section this total biodigester, if you check, you can check that there is an input. Here you can pour all these manure or biodegradable waste, and there it is stored here. And the methogenic bacteria works, and the biogas produced. It can be from the top. You can say biogas outlet. You can connect a pipe to your kitchen. You can get the biogas, and from the bioslurry outlet, you will get the biofertilizer. Very simple. And we have different sizes based on the requirement and the cattle you have. Normally, we told that our system works, or normally most of the biodigesters that globally found that for farming purpose or for personal use, people have 3 to 6 number of cattle. And based on that cattle and the requirement, cooking time requirement, you can have the different biodigester systems. So I can tell you one thing like that. It can produce 1.35 meter cube to 2.40 meter cube for our system. But globally, you can found different system. The most commonly used from 2 to 4 meter cube systems for household purpose, and normally more than that for the industrial purpose. But 2 to 4 meter cube household purpose, you require at least 4 to 8 kettles normally. And in Bangladesh, I can tell that normally each cattle produce 10 to 15 kg of manure. And if you have six cattle, you can, as an example, you will get almost 80 to 90 kgs of manure every day. So what you have to do, just pour those manures and mix it with water, and just pour this everything into our system, and it automatically converts biogas and slurry. My next point is that how does the gas produce, and how does the fixed dome work? Just for your clear understanding, I have shared some step-by-step process. Just think, when you are pouring in the inlet, here you can see that here is the inlet. When you are pouring those manure or any wastage, biodegradable wastage here, so it sits here. It initially takes a little bit time, the methogenic bacteria, to produce gas. Then at the initial level, there is no gas here, and you see the level. In the next slide, when we go there, when anaerobic bacteria start working, it produces biogas, and it basically pushes those slurry, and this slurry basically through this passage come to the overflow chamber. And then when the pressure is a little bit higher, 10 to 15 kPa, then it basically gives more pressure to the slurry, and it comes to from this way. It comes out from those this outlet pipe, and it becomes a fertilizer. And how it works again, so when it's producing biogas, if you can check here, we are connecting a pipe directly to the stove. Through this pipe, this stove is working, and from here you'll see that these outlet pipes, the bioslurry came out. So this is the normal working principles of biodigesters. And one interesting thing I want to share with you, this is a theoretical approach that how the normal consumption, how the consumption pattern looks like. So during morning session, when you are basically consuming the gas, the pressure comes down, and then when you give some break, anaerobic bacteria again start working, and the gas is producing again. And during lunchtime, when you are consuming again gas, so it again, the pressure reduces from this point to this point, and then during dinner session, again the gas produces and gas store a bit. Then when you start using it, it goes down again. So every day, this is the theoretical approach, but we try to analyze and did some R&D that how practically it works. Like I want to show you, we have practically in Bangladesh, we have practically installed some devices to check the consumption level, whether customers are getting enough gas, whether how the systems are working. This is the actual data from a customer. You can check. They're very interesting. During morning at 9 a.m., they basically start cooking. And the whole night, the system was unutilized, and it has produces enough gas. The pressure is close to 9 kilopascal. And during morning session, when they started cooking, almost 1.5 hours to 2 hours, in fact, 2.5 hours using gas, pressure goes down from 9 kPa to 4 kPa. Then there is a small consumption, maybe some boiling water or something happened, and it produces again enough gas. And during I think 5 to 6 p.m. they started consuming again, so it goes down again. So this is the practical example of how Biodigesters works. And we have we collected this data from a portable meter, which is connected to data-driven SIM card as well. We can get the data live. So again, we have analyzed for 2 to 3 months. I have shown you almost 2 weeks data that see the pattern. Every day, during night, that it produces gas, and during daytime it fluctuates based on those consumption. And you can check that almost in a day, based on the capacity they have got, the customers basically got 3 to 5 hours to 6 hour cooking time in a day, which is basically again varies from country to country. Well, from our experience, we found that in Cambodia we have less consumption. People normally cook maximum 1 to 1.5 hours. But in Bangladesh, a country like Bangladesh, people love to cook, and they normally require 3 to 4 hours, in some cases 5 hours as well for cooking time. So let me tell you about how it works. As I already told you, it depends on loading and daily loading and mixing thing. What you have to do daily, every morning, you have to collect whatever the wastage you have, or whatever the cattle manure you have. You just pour it and mix it with the same ratio of water, 1:1, and then just pour it to the systems. But there are some facts as well. Temperature has a good impact. So temperature, normally we recommend that biodigesters, the optimum temperature for biodigester is normally 30 to 35 degrees Celsius, but it absolutely work fine from 20 to 35. So basically below 20 degrees Celsius, there are some, it basically not giving the most optimum results, but still it can be worse. But less than 10 degrees Celsius, you have to take many precautions. But as I'm telling you, every day you just load the system during morning, and rest of the day you can use the system. So let me tell you another important technical terms, that what is the pH range. So pH range is also very important, because based on the pH, it basically gives you good gas productions. So I have, for your better understanding, I have segregated those steps. And normally for proper biogas productions, we recommend the pH should be 6.8 to 7.8. 7.2, but it depends on the what kind of feeding you are providing. So it always, as I told you, the biogas is a combination of methane and carbon dioxide. So based on your loading, so if it is the system is too much, if you load the system with too many feeds, the pH can be increased, and if you don't feed the proper range, pH can be decreased. Both the cases, it will impact on the performances. But if you just load the systems with the proper instructions, I think that will give you the most optimum result. And you can check, as I informed you earlier, from in a biogas, you will get a methane of 55% to 56%, and carbon dioxide rest, and very small amount of hydrogen sulfide gas as well, very small amount. So this is a typical view I'm showing just beside the house. It is installed, and you can see a yellow pipe there from where the gas is directly go to those kitchen. So very interesting, and the bioslurry comes from here. You can use it as a fertilizer. People who have land, you can, instead of buying all those chemical fertilizer, you can easily use this biofertilizer. I can give you one interesting stat here. In Bangladesh, I'm giving you the Bangladesh. So for excessive chemical, for use of excessive chemical uses, so we have almost 68% land that has been degraded. So that can be, I think, regained if we can encourage the people to use biofertilizers. So it can't be replace all the organic fertilizer, but it can decrease the amount of organic, I think, chemical fertilizer you are using. So just because of excessive chemical using of excessive chemical fertilizer, all this soil degradation has happened. So also in Attic, we have a very interesting hybrid revenue model. Here you can see that we have already touched already 4 SDG goals. That number 1 is the poverty. Like small scale farmers can easily increase their revenue and decrease their expenses with our biodigesters, and they definitely help to no poverty. In the SDG 3 goal, to good health and well-being, I already have told you that 80% can be reduced to exposure to indoor air pollutions. Definitely that enabling members' households to enjoy better health, leading to increased productivity and well-being. And also you are getting biogas, which is the affordable and clean energy. Definitely, and the climate actions. I already have informed you that each and every system can abate 112 tons throughout his lifetime, almost 25 years. And through our revenue model, basically we are collaborating with international capital providers, and we are investing our money in the R&D to deliver you the highest quality and data-driven product. And through this, we distribute it, and definitely we try to reach the bottom of the pyramids. And if they are happy, then this flywheel runs. So this is how our revenue model also works. And globally, as I told you, we have our CEO is Mr. Ben Jeffries. We have some international colleagues, as you've seen here. I'm looking after the Bangladesh operation. I have another colleague who is looking after Cambodia operation as well. And this is a small glimpse of our Bangladesh team and Cambodia team. We all are wearing green t-shirts, and we believe that through our green productivity and green technology, we can solve the major problem, that is the clean cooking problem that I have already explained to you. And we have taken many initiatives. As I told you, that from the beginning of the Biodigester technology, what are the pain point of those Biodigester technology? We found that awareness is a big thing for Biodigesters, and people, after getting the products, mostly they don't know how to use it. So that's why we have placed world-class CRM. We try to be in touch with our customer through our CRM process, so that in a particular interval, we can be connected with customers. What are they are using, what are their experiences they are getting, whether they are facing any problems. We have kept one toll-free number for them, so that they can communicate us with it whenever they require. And one interesting thing we have implemented here in Bangladesh, that we can track each and every system's we have already basically geotagging each and every systems. So in Bangladesh, here you can see all these small spots. These are the some Biodigesters here we have already installed. You can check everywhere we have some small footsteps. These basically leading us to our dream, that how we can make our total Bangladesh with a green productivity. So that's all for my presentation. I think if you want to know about us, you can easily, I think, go to our website, www.ataglobal.io. You can go to our social media pages. Also, I have already shared some of my LinkedIn ID, and also we have LinkedIn and YouTube social media links as well from the company as well. So thank you everyone for patience listening.
Thank you very much, Mr. Shubhashish. It is really very much interesting and very insightful presentation indeed. It is good to see that you are not working in Bangladesh, also another APO member country, that is Cambodia. Also, you have a team and you have a very good result as well. So I'd like to request audience to post your questions at the chat box so that we can continue our discussion. So far, I can see there are couple of good questions and important questions are actually asked by our viewers. And although I have few my own question, but I will ask later before I like to go our viewers' question and comments. So first I can see that one of our viewer, Dr. Rafiullah from Bangladesh, actually, he is asking to set up one plant, how many families need to be incorporated to make it feasible? Mr. Shubhashish, please.
Okay, thank you. Thanks for your questions. So basically, we have designed our systems in such a way so that it can serve family members of close to 4 to 6 family members. As I have already explained you, we have a capacity from 1.35 meter cube to 2.4 meter cube, which basically produces 1350 liter to 2400 liters, which can ultimately serves you approximately 3 to 4 hours or 5 hours based on the capacity. So as I'm telling you, to produce that amount of gas, normally small family requires 4 to 6 kettles. And from 4 to 6 kettles, you will get 40 to 60 kgs of manure. And if you mix those systems with the same ratio of waters, you will get approximately 100 to 120 liters of total, I think total input. And based on that, you will get the output. And that can serve a family member easily from 4 to 8 family members as well.
Thank you very much, Mr. Shubhashish. I can see the good comments from Fiji as well as Nigeria, even that how they actually cook. I would like to take one question from Japan, Sato Suzuki, and the question is, how about the cost? And can it be applicable to city? I mean, what we talked earlier about the urban areas or even developed countries. Say, if we take at Japan or Korea, where space is very limited and also getting raw materials or manure can be difficult.
Correct. That's a very good question. So let me break down the questions regarding the cost. So cost is again, first of all, we have to find out in which purpose we are basically using. So if we want to use it for household purpose to gas for cooking, so you don't require big systems. Again, it varies from the sizes. So again, from country to country, cooking habit and cooking time is different. So if I talk about normal systems, and different system cost different prices, but normally Biodigester cost varies from $400 to close to $800 for the household purposes based on the sizes and based on the technologies. So $400 to $800 depends on the country and depends on the gas requirement. And again, the next question is that whether you can use it, install it in the urban places or not. So the thing is that if you have some spaces beside your house, so our fixed dome our portable technology don't require huge space. We require only 5 to 6 feet. Only 5 to 6 feet to install it, and to collect the bioslurry, we require again 7 to 10 feet of I think peat. So that's the thing, space requirement we have. And if you have cattle, then that is excellent. But if you don't have cattle, you can use any biodegradable food wastage as well. And also in some places we have found that you can utilize human wastage as well. So you can connect your toilet directly to the systems, and it can produce gas as well.
Excellent. This is also new information. So I can see another comment actually from Sato Suzuki that can it be an alternative of gas, electricity, or fossil fuel? What do you think?
Oh, again, I think I have already explained it. So, first of all, what are the affordable solutions we have? Just first of all, so I think this is a sustainable, renewable solutions. So, first of all, I think I told you that you are getting the gas absolutely free. And what are the inputs you are using? Your own wastage that you are ultimately throwing it out or misusing it. So you are getting absolutely free gases. And if you compare, so you will not get this like the LPG. You can connect the LPG cylinders and you can get gases throughout the time wherever you require. But in the biodigesters, you have to give some time to produce, and there are some instructions to follow. I have already shown you the pattern of uses, something like that. You can't utilize the throughout the time that I want to cook the whole cooking 4 or 5 at a time. Yes, you can. You have to install a big system, but throughout the small systems, I think you have to use it. I think very or in an organized way. And but it can be definitely a replacement of the conventional thing that you are using. And for the cooking solution, I think is a most sustainable solution.
So here's another question that is about the commercial uses purpose.
Mhm.
Whether does it only require only the household, or if you have any data or information that how biodigester can be applicable to the commercial enterprise.
Yeah. As I showed you that commercially, again, if you have a big farms that where contains 100 200 cattle, or you have a big waste management system where you can put those biodegradable things in a way, so definitely you can use it. And through that gas you can basically produce electricity and through generators. And also you can, there are some beside the thermal uses. I have shown you the two thermal uses. One is that cooking, and another through like boiling water, some also you can utilize it as I'm showing you that to generate electricity through generators.
How about the financial? Does it financially viable to use it as a commercial enterprise?
Again, it depends. Very good question. It depends on the country to country, how you are basically, what are the supply chains, how you are getting those biodegradable things, and what are the electricity cost on that country. It depends. If you compare the total things, I think it definitely is a free of cost of getting those things. So now you have to compare with the existing technologies or existing electricity price of that country.
Yeah, but I agree with you, and I think we must also think and calculate the true cost accounting. That
True.
This is the conventional system. That is another type of accounting system. But when you are contributing to the environment, you are contributing to the society. When you are contributing to the total system, so that
True.
is actually indirectly it is actually contributing to the whole system. So that you cannot measure actually, huh? And
True.
that is a
Absolutely.
big contribution.
There are some intangible benefits, as you have already explained, that there are some tangible benefits, there are intangible benefits, because earlier we have to check how you are using those waste management systems. So now through this technology you can manage your waste management system in very efficiently and very I think or in an organized way as well.
Yeah, and that is the waste management, the 3R that we call the reuse, recycle, and so these 3Rs concept also be very much applicable. So
True.
another question I can see from Emmanuel Crucio from Cebu province from Philippines. Can we use all types of manure here? I mean, not only the cattle, right? Any
Correct. That's a very good question again. So mostly we have to check that I have told you that whether we have that pH level. So mostly if you use the cattle manure, you will get the most optimum result. But also in some cases we have seen that the chicken wastes or chicken manure also works very fine based on those nitrogen level and nothing. But you can use any biodegradable things and any kind of manure, but it varies the production.
Thank you. I can see one question from Paza Chris Zone from Fiji. Do we need to put manure daily in the tank? What is the amount of manure daily?
Great. So yes, it's recommended that every morning you put the manure. And as I'm telling you, that normally, according to the theory, that 1 kg of manure basically produce 30 liter of the biogas. So if you want to get based on the system size, as I mentioned you, that it varies. So just think about the 2 meter cube systems. If you want to get the 2 meter cube daily, then you require approximately 60 to 70 kgs of manure. So every morning, what you have to do, so for 60 to 70 kgs, at least the requirement, again, country to country, it varies. So normally you require 5 to 7 number of cattle or whatever the livestock you have. It depends on that. I'm talking about the cattle. And based on those 50 to 70 kg of manure, you have to mix it with the same ratio of water. And every day you have to pour it during the morning. Then you will get the gas. So it's always recommended to load it every day.
And here's another extension question that if the manure actually inside in the tank, say once a week, so how long it will then last?
Sorry, could you please ask me the question again?
The question is, if in case you said the manure should be every day morning should be inside, right?
Yeah.
So the question is, what happens if we put manure only once a week?
Okay, so there is a probability of drying it out. So that's the problem, and if there is small layer of crust can be happen. So yes, you can produce. You can give. I think you can load the systems every once in a week, but that problem is that you have to just break that crust because there is a layer of crust may occur, and there is a probability of dry out the system.
So here's another question. Can the produced biogas be stored? Is there a storage container accompanying the commercial tank?
Yeah, yes, in different countries, people have this technology as well. It's a very good question. You can put it in the different places, but the thing is that how big the storage could be, because in biodigesters you have only 10 to 15 kPa. Kilopascal. So just think about, you can store it for that with that pressure. If you want to store it, you need a big storage. But if you want to think about compressing it and store it in somewhere, that is also possible. And in some countries, I'm telling you, the gas produced from that biodigesters, they are compressing it and make it CNG and run the vehicles as well. So you can just think about that. If you have that compressor and other technologies, you can compress it and store in a larger volume.
Thank you very much. Now, I will request the audience to put your questions, comments in the chat box. Meanwhile, I have one question to you, Mr. Subhashi, that what is the impact of temperature on biogas productivity? Does biogas use create odors in the surrounding indoor or outdoor environment?
It's a good question again, Tanvir bhai. So as I told you that the most optimum temperature for biogas production is 30 to 35 degrees Celsius. So if you have that 30 to 35 degrees Celsius, you can easily produce, you get the maximum performance. So, but where in the cold countries where we have less than 10 degrees Celsius, we normally not recommend to install the system because you will get the less productivity. But in many countries during winter season, we have less than 10 degrees Celsius. In winter season, to get the optimum temperature, we try basically recommend different kinds of initiatives to be taken. Something like in some countries, people want to use some water heater to warm the waters to make the system a little bit warmer. Also, some of the countries, they are using the system in a greenhouse, ventilated from the top. Also, sometimes we recommend you to not to feed the system daily, because in those winter season, it will not get enough time for the anaerobic bacteria to react. Also, in some countries, sometimes some people use anaerobic bacteria. They are putting those anaerobic bacteria additionally, some probiotics every day. So these are the things basically we do for have that optimum, I think, optimum gas production. And your second question is whether it's creating any odor or not. I'm telling you that no, biodigester in a gas you will not get any odor. But the thing is that mostly it is consists of methane and carbon dioxide. As I told you, methane will be burned, so you're not having any odor. But when you are pouring the things, so when you are just opening up the inlet, say a small smell may come, but it lasts only for a few seconds during the pouring. But when you are using those gas in your stoves, you will not get any odor.
The many people they have some concern about this bad smell. So as you mentioned that ultimate product will not be any concern.
No.
So thank you very much. I think this is a good. So another question is there a danger of biodigester system exploration during normal use? What are some of the challenges in using biodigester? We heard a lot of advantages, but do you feel any danger or any concern?
Okay, thank you. So again, repeating it again. Just biogas is mainly made from methane, and methane gas is basically released into the air. It loses when it releases to air, it loses all its ability to ignite. So like in LPG and propane, which basically sink to the ground and stay in a given space. So, but biogas basically diffuses upward to the sky, leaving the premises immediately. So also, if you think about compare it to the CNG or LPG. So in CNG, you have 200, 220 bar. The pressure is quite higher. And for the LPG, the pressure is approximately 7 to 8 or 9 bar. But in biogas, it's less than 1 bar. So it's only 10 to 15 kPa, as I'm mentioning you. So I think with such pressure, I think there is no. It makes it impossible to explode. And also, another interesting thing is that normally, fortunately, basically, the gas tank sits on top of the digester tank filled with liquid. So if anything happened, this water would put the flame is happened. Just water is above those fire. So you can feel safe that the biodigester will not explode at all.
So no, this is a very good point. And do you think that this any special maintenance is required? What are some of the specific maintenance steps needed for the safe use of biodigesters?
Okay. Normally, it doesn't require any kind of maintenance, but very important thing is that how properly you are loading the system. So if you are not loading the systems properly, so what happened? I have mentioned earlier that sometimes what happened, people don't feed the system properly. A thick crust may form. So what you have to do, just to break that crust. Other than that, you don't need any kind of maintenance. It's automatically it produces gas, and the bioslurry basically comes out from the outlet. So you don't need to do anything necessary. What you can do, you just clean it up sometimes whenever you get the time. But even though you don't need to clean it up every time, every day. So once in a month, it's good enough.
Yeah, Mr. Subhashi, actually what from your presentation, we understand that there is a two-part very significantly. One is the cooking, and another is of course, organic farming and the organic fertilizer from this bioslurry. So as a byproduct, would you please explain that bit on the biofertilizer? about your tech. Yeah.
Sure. So as I've told you that biofertilizer is basically a byproduct of our system and is a full of macro and micronutrients and basically which are in right form of to basically absorbed by plants. So whatever you are pouring in the system, suppose you are pouring your system 40 to 50 liters of inlet, sort of a liter of input, you are getting the same output as a biofertilizer. And consistent of quality, the fertilizer comes out from the constantly feeding the system is a diverse mix of organic waste. So like if I'm telling you that if you have to feed the system with a human waste, so we are not recommending to use that as a fertilizer. Other than that, if you feed the system with the biodegradable things like other things, any food waste, any cattle manures or any manures, you can definitely get a very high quality biofertilizer, which includes almost 16 essential nutrients, consists of micronutrients like nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, micronutrients like iron, magnesium, boron, and others. So, and which is which will be a liquid form and very easy to use in your plant and land as well.
Yeah. So in that connection, what is actually your main primary focus actually for biodigester use, whether say for cooking environment or the element of organic farming, which you like to give more weightage?
Very interesting. So from our experience, I can tell you some interesting thing that in Cambodia, we found that most of our customers are using Biodigesters for getting biofertilizer. The secondary of basically their secondary requirement is the biogas. But in Bangladesh, India, we found a different thing. Mostly people want to have that biogas, and they have very less knowledge about that biofertilizer. So they don't think about basically they are throwing out sometimes those biofertilizers. So they don't use it at all. So so you have two products, both are free. So based on your requirement in different countries, they basically use it.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. And of course, any technology, it could be a location specific, and depending on the location and the people, how they like to use the technology in a positive way. And sometimes they may use it cooking purpose, or sometimes it can be biofertilizer. But since the product itself has a two positive, very significant contributions, so I would rather request you to promote the both area in the respective countries when you are promoting this tech, because it has a multi-dimensional, multi-focus approach.
Absolutely, Tanvir, you are absolutely right. And our thinking is that I have shown you that the impact. So you can save money from from the primary fuel, or also you can reduce your buying of those chemical fertilizer. So you can save both the money and time, and as well as convenience as well. So depends on the country and depends on the customer. I think it varies.
So one concern is there any inputs that cannot be used in biodigester systems?
Again, very good questions. People sometimes, I have mentioned the particular terms again and again, biodegradable things. If you can't put any non-biodegradable things in our system like wood shavings, straw, art, sand, tree branches, paper, metal, plastics, grass, and any non-organic liquid items, you can't put it. Other than that, any organic biodegradable things are okay.
Thank you. I can see another question from Pasa from Fiji. Can a customer buy the biogas system through one-time payment?
Definitely, you can. Again and again, I'm telling you that definitely we have that options to buy the system by cash or in the initial deposits. Definitely. So, but what we did. Basically, we try to focus that how much their savings. We have tried to make that instrument such a way so that they can easily pay through the installment and from their savings. But definitely, if any customers want to buy instantly, they are most welcome.
No, it is obviously what I understand that you have both option, one-time payment and of course the installment. But I like to maybe add that since this product initially for the rural development, And so could be good if you have a community development approach, so that the community or association, something like that, they can come together and they make a community development approach that will be more sustainable and could be more beneficial for the rural households. What do you think?
Absolutely. And, there are many steps that has been taken, and we are taking that initiatives for the community approach as well. And we have a dream to have a one Shobuj Gram, we call it green village concept. So we want to have saturate a particular village. So in Bangladesh, we have normally average 200 to 225 villages, 225 households in a village. So what is our dream? We want to see at least 50 systems in a particular village from the community point of view. And then after installing those 50 systems in that village, we want to declare that village as a green village. So that most of the people almost, if each family consists of 5 to 6 members, almost 300 to 500 people in a village can be benefited from through that systems. And we are taking the initiatives, and thanks to our Bangladesh government, they are taking many actions and to promote this technology. And we have a certain goal to have renewable energy, and we want to increase our uses of renewable energy up to 10% by 2030. So in Bangladesh, our governments are taking many initiatives to do that.
Yeah, actually, we are aware that our honorable agriculture minister, actually, he's actually agriculturist, and he's very fond of the green productivity and the green concept. And the government also planning to now have a green village, as you mentioned. And there are many South Asian and Southeast Asian countries, they have an organic village even, that all the innovative innovations and the new technologies are adopting in these villages. And I think the biodigester could be one of the important component of the organic and the green village, which can serve the energy and the organic fertilizer itself.
Yeah.
So no, I'm really impressed, and I am sure that our audience also, I can already see from Turkey to many countries, actually they are appreciating. And I will request our audience also, you can view this video in the YouTube channel at your suitable time, so that you can get more information and the presentation material as well. So I think now, thank you to all the viewers to joining this APO Productivity Talk. Unfortunately, this session has come to an end. And thank you so much, Mr. Subhashish Bhomik, for joining us and sharing your thoughts. Of course, in addition, I must say that you are already very much popular in different capacities in Bangladesh, not only with your attack product, but I already got some messages as well that you are also popular in many your personal capacities as well, with your family and your son. So we like to request to the viewers to join the upcoming APO Productivity Talks, and also thank to finally Mr. Subhashish Bhomik for your time and with us. And we look forward to see you and get you in our next APO features and the programs as well. So thank you very much, and viewers, thank you, and see you again. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you.